our former president, Mrs. Alexander Pansari, Alote National Council members, specialized society leaders, distinguished leaders of the nursing and midwifery fraternity. There are many, I can't mention it all. Our principals and nurse managers, our dear nurses and midwives, mainstream media houses here present, our own Grnma Media Committee, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that we have gathered here today to launch the 2024 International Nurses Day under the theme, Our Nurses and Midwives, Our Future, the Economic Power of Care. Nurses and midwives are the single largest health workforce in Ghana, forming up to 70% of the total health workforce, and that is why the Director General of the Ghana Health Service always calls me Majority Leader. And indeed, by our share numbers, we contribute significantly to healthcare delivery and the economy of Ghana. Despite this, I think successive governments have done their best, but we still think the investments in nursing and the policy directions could have been better to see to it that we ensure the physical, mental, and social well-being of our nurses and midwives. And this has had effects on the nursing and midwifery workforce, which has had cause to undermine the possibility of safeguarding a healthy and better future for humankind. Your Excellency, Madam Chair, our challenges are many, but I want to talk about a few. And the first issue I want to talk about is the global shortage of nurses. There is a global shortage of about 6 million nurses, according to the International Council of Nurses. 80% of these are in low and middle income countries. The nursing workforce is understaffed, leaving the available nurses overworked. This leads to high rates of burnout and makes the nursing profession unattractive to young people. The story in Ghana is quite different. Despite the low remuneration and the many challenges confronting the profession, it is still very, very attractive to the youth of Ghana, with many missing out on getting admitted to their preferred colleges to be trained as nurses. The next issue I want to talk about is the COVID-19 pandemic and lessons thereof. The COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated pre-existing conditions or challenges of the health system, and we face rising shortages of essential medicines, vaccines, anesthetics, and had serious challenges with medical devices such as face masks and respirators and the like. Your Excellency, Madam Chair, I wish to congratulate government for how the pandemic was managed to save lives. However, some of our colleagues who worked in the treatment centers and were to receive their COVID-19 allowance never received same. We hope that no matter how long it takes, what is due them will be paid to them. The vulnerabilities of the supply chain of medicines and medical devices were very clear. Analyzing policy options to anticipate and mitigate shortage risks and highlighting the need for international cooperation and coordination among governments and collaboration with the private sector cannot be overemphasized. During the pandemic, nurses were on the front line of the global response, delivering hope to their patients and their families, a demonstration that nursing care has an economic impact that is very much beyond the value that we see governments place on it sometimes. Real and sustained investment in nurses and the healthcare workforce requires commitment that must be written into the heart of the post-pandemic treaty that world leaders are still looking at. We need deeper consensus on how to protect our nurses and midwives in any future pandemic. And we hope that the pandemic treaty, which is in its final phase, will ensure the protection of health workers' physical and mental well-being in any future pandemic. We as an association humbly call on you, all political parties, their leaders and their followers, and the general citizenry, to put Ghana first at all times and ensure that our peace and democracy is protected during this year's election. And that is why during the May Day Forum, held prior to the May Day celebration by Organized Labour, we had the Electoral Commission, the National Peace Council, and the IGP assure us that our December national elections will be free, fair, and transparent, and that our security will not be compromised in any shape or form. That our security will not be compromised in any shape or form, and that all parties have committed to peace. We have witnessed what has happened in other countries in our African region, and we do not want same for Ghana, our motherland. We therefore call for peace to enable us continue taking care of all of you, because if anything happens, we would also be concerned about our families, and we may not be able to stay at the hospitals and all those places to take care of Ghanaians. So we all need peace. The recent issues that have come up, that have arisen with the registration is a concern. Limited registration is a concern, and we hope that the security forces and all stakeholders will do what is needed to ensure that we have peace in Ghana.
I'm highly honored and privileged to be the keynote speaker for this year's International Nurses and Midwives Day. I must say that I do not take this for granted. I therefore want to thank the leadership of our association, Grnma, and the organizers of this year's Nurses and Midwives Week for the invitation. I'm very proud to be a nurse, and so today we say Ayiko to ourselves. We thank God that today we can have our celebrations. The International Nurses and Midwives Day is observed around the world each year to recognize the enormous contributions of our nurses and midwives all over the world, and typically coinciding with the birthday of Florence Nightingale, who is the mother of modern nursing, on May 12, 1820. The Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association joins other 134 associations all over the world to celebrate today. I would like to add my voice to say Ayiko to all of us and wish you the best and the Lord's blessings. The global theme for the 2024 International Nurses Day is our nurses, our future, the economic power of care. This theme presents an in-depth analysis on the contributions nurses and midwives make around the world. The theme highlights the need for nursing and midwifery to be seen as investments instead of a cost, and to reshape perceptions of nursing, image, and midwifery, and economic and societal benefits. Nurses and midwives provide essential as well as person-centered care that keeps communities healthy. By investing in them means that we will expand our health of the people in our country. This is indeed critical because health is wealth, and a country whose workforce are healthy are wealthy.
The deadly disease in some sister West African countries. As Vice President, I am privileged to speak to you on this important occasion dedicated to honoring nurses and midwives' hard work, devotion, and commitment globally. The theme for this year's International Day of Nurses and Midwives, which is Nurses and Midwives, Our Future, the Economic Power of Care, underscores the crucial and fundamental role this cadre of healthcare professionals play in promoting positive health outcomes and contributing to the economic growth of our dear country. Nurses and midwives are not just health care providers. They are highly skilled professionals who offer evidence-based care to patients and families. Their expertise, empathy, and dedication help enhance health outcomes. However, healthcare expenses and lower healthcare expenses and improve the overall well-being of individuals and communities. If you return home safely to join your family after hospitalization, thank the nurse and midwife. In Ghana, nurses and midwives are the foundation of our healthcare system, delivering vital services to those in need in hospitals, clinics, and communities. They serve as the first line of assistance for patients, offering care, guidance, and treatment.
Talk you, Mama, the document. Young could be not this ship. Your kind, me nine. In fact, for Monsieur, which young women, His Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you. Florence Nightingale, the mother of modern medicine, is a prominent and iconic woman, also known as the Lady with the Lamp. We gather here today to celebrate all nurses globally, to eulogize and remember this selfless royal who was born into a family that frowned on nursing, but she decided to heed to her calling and defy her parents' wishes to get married at the age of 16. She was trained in Germany and worked in England. When the Crimean War broke in 1853, mortality rate was very high. She, together with 38 others, were called to the battlefield to take care of wounded soldiers. Their actions helped reduce the mortality rate. We gather here today to celebrate her for her extraordinary role among her peers through her exhibition of empathy and compassion. During the night, when all hope was lost, she was their darkest companion, with her little lamp through the hallway, giving hope and encouraging words to the wounded soldiers.
So can we now have our light off? Let us show the light that we have as nurses and midwives.
As a responsible member of the community, I promise to care for the sick with all the skills I possess, no matter their race, creed, color, political or social status, sparing no effort to conserve life, alleviate pain, and promote health. I promise to respect at all times the dignity of the patients in my charge. I promise to hold in confidence all personal information entrusted to me. I promise to keep my knowledge and skills at a professional level and to give the highest standard of nursing care to my patients. I promise to carry out intelligently and loyally medical instructions given me. I promise that my personal life shall for all times bring credit to my profession. I promise to share in the responsibility of other professions and citizens for promoting health locally, nationally, and internationally. So help me God.